Definitely. Okay, recording. So for you to be here, it means that you're um, a step in the right direction. Yes, I mean, so thanks for having me, everyone. Let me share my screen. Are we having the same um, kind of um, kind of audience we had the last time, like fresh graduates, or do we have people that are transitioning or something, or is strictly fresh graduates? So if you're a fresh graduate, just type in the comment section, fresh, transitioning, blah blah blah, transitioning like you're switching career and you're moving to a different role, maybe tech or something. So fresh in the chat box, just put fresh and all of that. While I'm doing that, hi Danny. Nice to hello. One second. So I need the comments in this chat box. Fresh graduates, transition.
I
I'm not seeing anything. I like my class to be very interactive. Dami has called me teacher. I've not heard that in a very long while.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you then. I said you've called me teacher. I've not heard that word in a very long while. I hear things like instructor, facilitator. I don't know. The moment you said teacher, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, teacher. That's so I need the class to be very interactive. Drop in the chat box. Is it? I can't see anything in the chat box. Let me see. Are people dropping messages? Don't we want the class to be interactive? Okay, transitioning. I see that. Trying to learn a new skill, fresh. Okay, fresh graduate trying to learn a new skill. You see that? Maybe I'll okay. We have a good number of people on the call. I see only two chats. The remaining eight, seven people. Let me see. Very interactive. I need this session to be interactive. It is not interactive. Hello? We're trying to learn. Okay. Drop. I see Adejare. I see Akinyemi Victor. I see Jessica. I see Muinat. Okay, Adejare already dropped a message. I see Robson. Okay, drop, guys. I'm waiting while I'm trying to share my screen. Okay. I'm not seeing chat. Is this how we're going to prepare for the interview? Interviewer will say, drop message, do this, or you will not do. Ha! Drop your messages, guys. This is a form of you coming out of your shell. This is how is it this hand that you used to go for the interview? Drop your chat, guys. Drop. Let's see. Okay, I'm ready to share my screen. Okay, thanks, guys. So move ahead now. Can everyone see? Let me put this in present mode. Now, slideshow. Okay. Yes. Hope everyone can see my screen clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good to know that. So I see that a good number of us are transitioning. Some are fresh graduates looking to upskill as well. That's very, very good. Yeah. So I again, the essence of being here is, don't worry. I see. I mean, what's the word? I do not judge. The essence of being here is for us to learn how to position ourselves, basically for interviews. Yeah. So first is I decided to not. I mean, the topic interview prep. I decided to make it green, like green, green. Something that is still, what we call fresh graduates or people that are fresh in a certain thing is, or the person is green, kind of green from the angle of, normal vegetation, it would finally blossom, you know, being green, blossoming, and all of that. So next is, so this is typically our table of content. We'll introduce the topic, interview prep, um, interview do's and don'ts, summary and conclusion. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you guys. So this first, I'll start with, I know I was listening to Dami's introduction when she was talking about her experience, the interview, and when if the interviewer says, "Don't worry, chill, I'll be chill," or something like that. It's not a big deal. No, that it's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal because if it's not a big deal, they won't be interviewing for the role, or the job itself is not a joke, yeah. But it's good. I mean, that is what HR these days are trying to, step in on. It's not supposed to be a do or die. If you don't get the job, it's still fine. At least you pick one or two to where you're going, or for the next interview you're going to sit for. It's not supposed to be a do or die affair. So thanks Dami for that real life experience. So introduction. So it says here that according to the Economic Times publication, it says here that only 32% of job seekers consider themselves interview ready. This means most candidates attend interviews unprepared, creating a major advantage for those who prepare thoroughly. The truth is, whether you prepare or you don't prepare, there are other people there prepared. So do you want to be among, because I know today, maybe we're expecting that when I just come in like, oh, this is how you prepare. Yeah, we'll get to all of the how you can prepare and all, but then it's okay to also understand that, the way we will say there are many fishes in the river. There are lots of fishes, but there are some skills that that, I mean, take for instance, I will tell you that tech talents are really scarce, which is true, because learning the skill is one thing, and having to, implement it is another thing. I know many people that have had to start upskilling in tech and different things, and even other like switching career, maybe someone switching from HR to finance, or from finance to HR, or from banking to something else, different things basically. And it's always, what's the word now? There's always going to be that switch, or you having to prepare for something or not prepare for something. So the truth is, you have to, if you do not prepare, there are other people in the room that are coming prepared. Yeah, so this is not just to come and tell us prepare. It's also to tell us the facts that other people are also preparing. So if you're going to, the question now is, how prepared are you going to be in showing up for that interview, or showing up for a certain interview that you've taken the time to apply for, really. So it says, like I read, I mean, I'm done reading that. I think it's clear by now that other people are prepared. If you're not, yeah. So again, it says here that preparation reduces uncertainty and highlights potential. Again, it says preparation meets opportunity. Means, sometimes we say, look, oh, this guy is lucky, this girl is lucky, this person, oh God, those kind of things. Like, but the truth is, in context, preparation meets opportunity means researching, practicing, and presenting your best self to connect your background with the role, basically. Interview prep. I mean, this is practically covering the topic itself. How do you prepare for an interview, basically? So first is preparation proper. Number one, understand role requirements. Role requirement. Understand job description and required skills. What is the job? I've seen cases where, because I mean, I like to share practical and real life, as in, what's the word? Practical and real life experience. You know. So, I've seen cases where I posted a job, or the company, I mean, as an HR person, posting a job, and I post that I need an account manager. And at the end of the day, and you know, for an account manager in a typical advertising agency, you know, is someone that manages accounts for clients. I'm so sorry, my grandfather spoke this one. So typical accounts, like when I mean accounts, like let's say you're managing the Amazon Prime Videos account or even Netflix account, you know, you are the account manager. Do you understand? When I mean account, I don't want to sound so, for people that are not in the agency life and all of that, or maybe in banking and other places. I mean, typical like managing a client. Yes, that's the word, like managing a client. So I would post such a role and you will see finance people, someone that has done like kind of client. And I'm like, this is not supposed to be. It shows that they do not read the job descriptions. And the truth is, the roles these days are, or would I say nomenclature these days, or designation these days, are now, you know, before, if you see account manager anyway, account is account, finance, you know, is your mind will definitely go to finance. But in recent times, it's not what it is. But you need to, even when they even post that account management job that you think you are, or you're not a finance person and you're an account manager, they post it. It's okay to also understand the job description. You know, this is not to say that you cannot apply, even if you're seeing some things that are not related to what you do. Sometimes they can say you should know how to use maybe some softwares, Trello, this, that, you know, Trello, Asana, or you know, or maybe as a project manager, they'll say you know how to use all of these softwares and all that. The truth is, even if you don't know how to use Trello, you can use Asana, or you know how to use what's the word, Zoho. Definitely you will be able to know how to use Trello and the likes, really. All that, when I mean Zoho CRM, you know, these are CRM tools and all of that. Or even typical as a customer service person, knowing how to use this tool. So the truth is, you need to even understand. And if you understand that, okay, this is what they are looking for, or someone that has the skills and can also use this applications and all that, you can always be ready for the questions that will come up. Questions like, now you don't use, since this is the software we use here and you're not used to it. Now when I'm saying this, also apply to other things, basically, that are not subject to CRM tools, you know. You will be having conversations, you will hear something like, oh, now you can use this, or we don't see that you can use this, or we see that you can use Google Workspace and you can't use what's the word, look up the Microsoft suite. You don't know how to use the Microsoft suite. I mean, you can always have conversations around, oh, okay, I know how to use Zoho. However, I know it's the same CRM tool, and definitely since it's to organize projects and all of that, I know how to move on point A to point B, and definitely I can replicate that on, again, that would be the interviewer seeing the potential in you and seeing also that you are teachable, also seeing that you can transfer a certain skill or that skill you have to another, you know, software that they use internally. But you will hear some people, they will say, I don't know how to use, or I don't know how to. You just end the conversation like that. This is not to say that you should now lie about something you don't know. No, you can actually convince, because the truth is, again, I like to borrow what Danny said. If you are a CEO, will you hire yourself? Do you understand? You should be able to convince the person as much as you can convince yourself that you can, do you understand, use a certain tool or do. So in the nutshell of this is understand the job description and the required skill. Then next is research the company. I know some people, when they, I don't know if that happens now, but I've seen cases where someone will show up in an interview and you're asking the person, like, okay, what do we do? And the person does not even know what the company that they're interviewing for does. So some people, they'll feel like, oh, it's because of the time constraint, they joined or they got the invite link late. No, if you even get, as a matter of fact, if I get a link tonight and and you're supposed to have an interview the next day, trust me, you're supposed to have sleepless nights because I'm not just, I mean, it depends on how important the job is to you, really. But trust me, you want to go and start doing your research. Oh, what do they do? I mean, I know some people will go as far as asking mission, vision, all those kind of things. You don't necessarily have to cram that from that. If you want to, if you have the fine. But the most important thing is understand what they do. What do they do? The company you're applying for in holistically. Sometimes you might say, oh, I'm just a customer service person, or I'm just a this, I'm just a that. I don't necessarily, no, you need to understand what they do, basically. If they have branches, if they are Pan-African, if they are international, you need to know what countries they are in. Just understand, basically, like read. The truth is, you cannot know the company more than they know the company, and they know that already. That's the possible truth. You cannot know the company where I am than myself that I'm in that company. That's the truth. But all I'm trying to say is you have to have a good understanding of what the company does before you even decide to sit in their interview session. Next is practice Q&As. Is it GMAT? Is it what's the word? Yeah, it could be GMAT. It could be what's the word? Typical interview questions. Number one, if you prepare answers for how do I even put it? Like you should definitely have answers to common questions like, tell me about yourself. Do you know? I know that on this call, basically, or for some people, they may not understand the flow of will I say flow in telling me or telling someone or an interviewer about yourself. Let me just give you an example. Someone will come in an interview and you'll hear something like, hi everyone. Sorry, let me cut in. Let me stop sharing myself. I don't like to talk for so long without feeling like there is a level of engagement. Hi everyone. Can everyone hear me? No, I need people to speak. If you don't speak, I will not proceed. In short, we'll end this session. Hi. In short, I'm going to call everyone one after the other. I'm not liking this. Everywhere is cold. Oh, I see that some people dropped messages while I was speaking. Okay, transitioning. I was in an office when I went to fix a laptop for a client, and I overheard the interviewer ask a confusing question mark. It was like, what does success look like in this role discipline? Please, can you enlighten us about? Oh, great. This is a wonderful question. Who is this person? John has saved everybody on this call because everybody was supposed to talk. So, yes, we're going to come to that question. Yes, like really, we're going to come to that question. I think I addressed that in my slide. For the time frame, I think not 6 months related, but I'm going to have that conversation on the phone. Okay, but I want to know that everyone is listening. Can everyone hear me? Okay, let's use the thumbs up. Let me say people are shy. Oh yeah, thumbs up. Let me hear. Or wait, anyone. Nice. So the way everyone is very quickly so that they will not unmute. God, I beg. Hey, okay. It's fine. John Sunday, don't worry. We'll come back to your question. We'll visit it during while we're having this conversation, like during this presentation, then I can also, answer to it after the session if you still need to throw more light, basically. Let me go back. I just wanted to be sure that I'm not putting myself. Okay. So 1 minute there. Sorry, give me 1 minute. There's someone at the door. Sorry, 1 minute. 1 minute. Thank you. Let me just okay. Okay. So we should be able to answer questions around tell me about yourself, your strengths, and why this company or this role, why sometimes you are the part. I think I was trying to explain the part around tell me about yourself. Sometimes you tell some people will join the call, you say, tell me about yourself. You'll be saying, okay, um, I'm 65 years old. I'm 45 years old. I'm from Okwa West in Kogi State. I'm from, excuse me, why are you intentionally bringing bias to yourself? Like bringing unnecessary, what the truth is, in as much as we try to say, oh, and there's no form of bias, don't say, I have to mention, some will come to the call. I have they'll tell you things like, I have how do they even say that thing again? So say, I have 4 kids. I have. The truth is, you can say what you have. It's not like you hide what you what or what you are. But the point is, nobody's telling you to hide what you are. But the truth is, you don't want to bring unnecessary sentiment up to your side or bringing unnecessary bias to yourself. Because the truth is, if there are two people and one person has 4 kids, the other person has 2, and both can do the job, or the other person is even single, they will even say, this person or this person that does not, this or that, this person that has 4 kids, that means we'll put the person on HMO, is more money for the company, things like that. The truth is, if you're asked those questions, why not? But the truth is, go straight. So the point I'm trying to make here is go straight to the point. Like what I mean straight to the point, you just introduce yourself. Hello, I am also person, or my name is, they know your name obviously. You reiterate that, oh, my name is blah blah blah, a graduate of XYZ University. You, after saying that, if you had if you are a 2-1 or first class, you can indicate that one. You can, from there you move to your qualification as regards what you're applying for. From there you move straight to your job experience, like, oh, I work with this. Again, also try to highlight. So take for instance, you're applying for, as an accountant, for instance, you're applying for an audit role. I think you should focus more on the audit function you performed in the companies that you're talking about than other things. Because the truth is, if you're talking about other things, you're practically like wasting time, because at the end of the day, they have, the interview is timed, obviously. Or if it's physical, there's a, this is not to say that you cannot highlight those things. You can highlight and, move on. I mean, everything is contextual, basically. Next is your strengths. Sometimes some people will tell you, the truth, sometimes you feel like, why are they asking me my strengths and my, sometimes I didn't put weaknesses here, but why are they asking me my strengths and weaknesses? If I tell them now, they'll say that, okay, I can't do the job or something like that. Again, you can have conversations around, oh, my strengths are, I work, I work under pressure. I know many people say all of those things. I work under pressure. I am solution oriented. This and that. The truth is, these days everybody says it, but you have to mean it from things you've been saying. So take for instance, you're saying, okay, my strengths. Oh, okay. You could say, oh, I'm a go-getter. I like to work in team. Everybody likes to work. Everybody will say they like to work in team, but there you can highlight your basic features. Like the truth is, I can't be the one telling you your features basically, or what your strengths basically. Yeah, your features, your strengths. I wouldn't be the one telling you your strengths, but whichever strength you're looking to highlight, ensure that you have like backing statements for it. Oh, I like to I'm someone that likes, I'm a go-getter. I'm someone that, or for your weakness, you could say, I find it hard. There's one I'm trying to remember for your weakness, because the truth is, some people will tell you that they don't have weakness. Some people will not even talk about their weaknesses. The truth is, they just even want to see how plain you can be or how honest you can be, because there are some companies that pride themselves on integrity, like how if you say you don't have any weakness, they'll tell you that there's no human being that does not have weakness, or that does, there's no one that does not have weaknesses or something like that, or even a weakness and all that. I think there was a time when I was early in my career, I think sometimes I would say, ah, don't worry, towards the end of the time, if I remember that thing out, it's coming to my head, I just leave it. But the most important thing is, after saying it, the weakness, let them know how you've been trying to work yourself out of that weakness. If the weakness is on pressure, oh, I really don't like working under pressure, but now I think I'm being more intentional. I try to schedule my tasks earlier, things like that. Conversations like that can make you seem solution oriented, basically, or forward thinking, you know. Then your why this company or role. Most times the role conversation might come, especially when you're transitioning or you are really doing, if you're, let's say you're an accountant or you studied accounting and you're applying for an accounting role, maybe they won't ask you why the role, basically. Maybe you might be asked why the profession. I know they ask some professionals, okay, why this profession? Why do you like, you know, being, and what's the most the fun thing about this profession, or why did you decide to take up this profession? Because again, there are some professions that come with pressure. There are some professions that come with, so questions will be asked around it, you know. Then for company, why the company? I've seen cases where you ask people, why are you joining this company? Or why do you want to join us? One of them will say, because I saw the ad. Haba. Even if because you saw the advert or something. Come on. You have to show that is laughing. Yes, you have to show interest too, because the truth is, if you don't show interest, it what's the word? It wouldn't it will seem as though you are just one passerby and they will treat you as a passerby, really. Companies want people that are really enthusiastic about joining the firm, because again, you feel like it's just a company. But every company, the same way, if you were to employ somebody, I keep borrowing that Brahmin language, as a CEO or for your own company, would you rather employ someone that is excited about joining you, or employ somebody that is just being random? Do you understand? So again, you have to know why you want to join the company. Or it could be conversations around, oh, this is a company I've been meaning to join, or even sometimes the way some people even talk about the company, you that are interviewing on behalf of the company, you'll be wondering, oh no, I didn't even know this about this our company that you're saying. Do you understand? But this is not to say that you should make it so unreal or unrealistic. But what I'm trying to say is you need to show interest, basically. Okay, next on the slide is, so next is, so this, we spoke about before the interview, things you should do, research about the company, blah, 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 all those things. Then during the interview, on the day of the interview, you know, number one, dress appropriately. If you're to join virtually, please join earlier. Join like 5-10 minutes. You should start joining 15 minutes before, because now our internet is not really friendly. Internet can throw you out. Anything can happen. As a matter of fact, you may want to be joining the interview, and that's like the first time you're using that app. Because I know some app, maybe Teams, Google, Zoho, all of those, meeting links and all of that. Some of them, they might require you to download the app before you can use, maybe on your phone. That's if you don't have a laptop. I think it's only laptop that encourages web also. But I know that, again, you can use web for some of this app. But in a case where you cannot use web, so that you can use if it's possible, 30 minutes. If you're not sure, start testing 1 hour before. So that you're sure if you have the app, you know that everything is fine. You can join like 15 minutes before, or even 10 minutes, just put it on the new text and just be there, so that you'll be in the lobby to avoid any issue. Again, because I've seen cases where people's systems will start booting. You know how that one, so I'm talking about circumstances that seem beyond your control that you can now control. You know, you could join the meeting before, because the truth is, going under pressure, the truth is, it will show in your presentation, it will show in how you will be, the chest palpitation will be a lot. You'll just be, you wouldn't be relaxed. So you need, when I say relaxation, you need not relaxation like per se, but like you need to be relaxed, and you wouldn't be relaxed because already the interview is giving you its own share of this, and you're worried will you get will the interview go well? Then you now add the whole process of the whole back and forth of trying to sign up and trying to download app. You see some people 15 minutes after they will tell you, or 30 minutes after they still be telling you that they're downloading the app. Sometimes the person may not really, when you eventually, they are good enough and the people, your interviewers are kind enough, and maybe they don't even have, sometimes they may be kind enough, but again, they've scheduled people after you. So if there's no time or they've seen the person they want, they can even say that you are not serious, So not everyone gets the opportunity to be given another opportunity. Sorry, I have to. So, apologies. Okay. So please, as much as you can, I put the dress appropriately and test your internet together. When I mean dress appropriately, I know that sometimes some people will say it's not by, just don't judge a book by its cover. Don't worry. The world is already a superficial world. You can't take out the fact that it is what it is. You need to show up. They will say the way you dress, the way you are dressed, and all of those things. Again, in the tech world, you can show up for an interview, whether virtual or physically, maybe in a yucky way, and it might not be a big deal, tech, media world, and all of that. But again, if you show up that way in the banking sector, you show up that way in other sectors that they take dressing corporately very seriously, not just corporately. Some people, they wear tie on what's it called, Monday, like where currently, imagine me having to transition from banking where you can't even wear jeans. There are some materials you could not even wear at the time, to the office, at the beginning of the week, even to the transitioning there to tech space that you can even wear Ankara on Monday morning, or even wear your Crocs sometimes, and just as long as you're looking good and put together, to working now where I'll have to also be suited up again. So the truth is, when you are in Rome, you behave like a Roman. So the truth is, if you're going for an interview, show up very clean, be sharp. I like to use the word sharp, be sharp and put, and if it's virtual, if it's online, dress, don't go as a man, don't go and wear boxers, because what if maybe something happens, you want to quickly stand up and go and plug your charger? We are seeing boxers. Do you understand? It will look like the person is so unserious, dress properly, wear your shirt, like be put together. If it's depending on the kind of firm, need to be dress corporately and all of that. So just be intentional, really. The next is introduce yourself, prepare 1 to 2 minutes. I mean, we've spoken about that. Elevator speech is your elevator speech is from, in this context now of doing this interview, is there's also the elevator speech of after the interview of why should we hire you? You should already know that. Why should we think of, like, that is even a different conversation. But the intro speech, from your intro speech to your know how you should move from point A to point B, so that you don't even bug them with information that they don't really need. Again, not just about bugging them with information they don't really need, so that you also have the time to give them the information they need to assess you, basically, or the interviewers need to assess you. So next is confidence and communication. I mean, this can never be overemphasized. The truth is, confidence and communication will always come from you being prepared. If you are not prepared, don't worry, confidence is, well, Well, some people can argue that to say that, oh, I'm a confident person regardless. Don't be confident that, that thing they will say that somebody is saying wonderful nonsense. The truth is your prepare if you are a confident person, it's a plus for you, to be honest. But your preparation did also help you, project that confidence into its greatest capacity to earn you the job, really. So next is prioritize clear speech, active listening, and steady eye contact or camera presence. I mean, look, it's not the one. I mean, I had an interview. I interviewed someone last week with the head of business in my team, and the guy kept on. We did the first day virtually. Then eventually he came into the office that day. When he came into the office, he kept on looking down. I don't know. I'm like, what's happening? Is there something happening under the table? You know, I was a bit laid back. I was like, are you sure we want to proceed with this candidate? The truth is, you don't want, again, a disclaimer, it's natural to have anxiety. Anxiety, everybody has anxiety. Don't worry. Everybody. Sorry, hear that clock finished ticking. My grandfather's clock. So sorry. We have the grandfather pendulum clock in my house. Just sorry about that. So the truth is everybody, there's someone that somebody will see now, that person you think is the highest person in the company, there's someone they will see now, anxiety will come in. There's a client that they maybe, let's say, in short, even as a CEO, there's a particular client that you'll be looking to sign, and the client is giving you, don't worry, anxiety will come in. Some people will tell you that they'll go and pee like 2 times. Anxiety is normal. Do you understand? But how do you manage it? Do you understand? You can manage it beyond by preparation. If you're prepared for all of these kind of things, the questions, anxiety will be a bit far from you because you intentionally know what you're doing. Again, it's normal, but do not stay in that place of anxiety for so long. That's just the truth. The moment you come into the call, anxiety can kick in. Sometimes, if they are good enough, they can tell you, like Dami mentioned, don't worry, it's not a big deal, just calm down and all that. If they tell you, be calm, really. Do you understand? Yeah, be calm. Because the truth is, if you're not calm, you will not communicate as you should communicate. Be calm. Even if it kicks in first 1 minute, do not stay there for too long. What you should now be the truth is, by the time you start thinking of what you need to say, you will not be thinking anxiety again. That's just it. So you need to be intentional. That's where intentionality comes in. Okay, so next slide. Interview do's. So number one, research the company. We already spoke about it. Understand what the company does. Know the role you applied for. Learn about the company's value and culture. Basically, the truth is, like I said, you cannot know the company's culture or what they do more than the people on the call. So don't overdo it. Don't go and be talking about the company. I heard that you people use to XYZ some unnecessary information. They will feel like, who is this one? You understand? Like, what's I don't So you don't want to bring unnecessary bias to yourself. Then arrive early, be at the venue. Yeah, we already said that. If it's virtual, join early. If you're going physically, Lagos traffic, if you're on the island, if you're on the mainland, wherever you're going, understand the distance from your house to the place so that you're there. The truth is, even if you're there 1 hour before, nobody will chase you or 30 minutes before. But what may not be acceptable is you coming late. So you want to be there early, you want to join the interview call early. Dress professionally, we've spoken about that. Wear any kind of appropriate attire. First impression matters. Like we said, it's a superficial world. People will first, the truth is, if you go all together, don't worry. People treat you sometimes. Sometimes we try to avoid that conversation. Sometimes we try to deny it to say, no, it's not like that. You don't treat people like. Sometimes it's your disposition again that will even, that's the first impression people have about you, and that would also. So if you know you're on this call and maybe you have the opinion that people have their own opinion about it, really, but you feel like you don't necessarily have to be put together. stop it going forward. In short, wear your best interview, best outfit. If they call you for any interview, that your best suit, wear it, be sharp. Because the way you be sharp, self, I don't even know. It's just you might be lucky. It might be a lucky day just because you were sharp. This is not to say that you will not exercise. I've seen cases where maybe a candidate was like a 90%, and the company ended up going for someone that was a 70% or 75% with that looked put together from the angle of don't worry, we'll train her. She's the kind of, because again, that can also show if you fit into their culture. If you're all not put together and all that, they'll feel like this person. Because sometimes they'll say culture. What is the culture? The culture we know is way of life now. Way of life can be the addressing, the way they do things, the way they socialize in the company and all that. So if you're not giving up the vibe of someone that can be in that space, don't worry, you may not get the job. As little as it may seem, but you may end up not getting the job, really. Then practice common questions. Prepare for questions such as, tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? We've spoken about this. What are your strengths and weaknesses? We've spoken about this. Demonstrates confidence, maintain eye contact. We've said this before. There's this part, let me read this. Maintain eye contact, speak clearly and professionally, smile and stay engaged. Again, if you're in an interview, and it really works, really. I've seen cases where you ask someone a question and they smile. Like sometimes if you really do not, I don't even know, I don't want to give off the wrong notion here. Just smile, like just wear that smile. When I mean smile, it's not like they'll ask you something, you're already laughing. I mean, there's a way, even when you're being I don't want to send up the wrong signal here now. Well, I mean, this is where common sense comes in, really, or emotional intelligence. Yes, someone used to call it not just common sense, native sense. Always wear that. Oh, you joined the call. Hello, hi, smile. Do you understand? You are in your smile. Some people will tell you, "Oh, I'm a guy. Why am I smiling? Please, let's do this thing and live here." I mean, just as much as you can. I won't smile like you. You wouldn't smile like me. But just make it natural. Just put up that smiley face. Like, do you understand? Because it really helps. Because again, a question might be thrown at you that you might want to answer, but that you don't really know. The smile sometimes can help you in your trying to figure out the response to the answer. Do you understand? But then when you enter, your face is all strong, everything. They'll be like, now wow, what's happening? This one, hey, they will say he will not come and beat up his line manager so just put up that, some of these things they may sound very tiny, but I'm telling you, this is some of the HR convenience and things, some things we look out for. Do you understand? The truth is, it shows some level of warmth, and again, that level of warmth you're showing, your line manager or the person that you'll be reporting to is on the call, not just HR. The person you're reporting to, and nobody wants to work with anybody that feels like grumpy. That's just the truth. So, after that, what did I say? Hold on 1 second. Okay, so next is highlight skills, even without work experience. Talk about school projects, leadership roles, volunteer work, internships, communication, teamwork skill. I know that some people that have not really had like maybe a 9 to 5, they are core members, they've just been serving and all of that. They'll feel like I don't have the skill yet and all of that. The truth is, I've had to, when I was in calls, we've had to hire, and some companies we've had to, if it's for banks and all of that, there's training school now. The most important thing is that you should just pass your exams and all of those things, the tests, online tests and all of that. Then you go for your you go to training school. Then for people that are coming into maybe agencies, tech and all of those things, the truth is let's say you're a writer or maybe you're applying for a writing job, I've had to hire an intern just because of the project she handled in school. She was like, oh, that she's in mass comm, that she studied mass comm, that's for their final year project presentation or something. So it was called. She mentioned the name of the play. She wrote the play. She did, something like that. She just gave us. She said that the play, after they had the play, they had to. She just gave us. She gave us a mental picture of how the play went and how. So we felt like this is the truth is that nobody will be hiring you for an MD role when you're an entry level. They know your capacity. Do you understand? You don't have to say that you did the whole everything, or you've done this or things that you've not done and all that. Again, but you still do not have to shrink yourself. If you know what you've done, you've intend, and this is a wake-up call for everyone on this call as well that have not had to do anything, maybe done any job at all, like coming out of it. The truth is that you have to start something. When I mean start something, you can start by helping. If you know that, I remember when I wanted to transition into human resources because I used to work in customer support in Access Bank, then from there, then all of those things. So I knew when I wanted to transition, it was a conversation. In short, all the people around me that were in it, I'll be like, yes, this thing I'm there, like years back. I'll tell them, I mean, I was almost fresh, aside the fact that I did some I've worked like just a job and all of that. Then everybody that I knew that were doing that job, I'll tell them, I'll keep messaging them. I'll be like, oh, what can I do for you? Should I help you shortlist? Should I help you screen? Some of them, I'll see some people, then they'll be telling me in the team, then later they'll be telling me, oh, imagine I posted this job. I'm having like over 200 applications. I come up with this, I'll even review the job. I said, don't worry, let me help you. I was willing to serve. Do you understand? And it didn't come at a cost. I remember then some people that I knew that were in it, some of them would post jobs. I'll be like, okay, don't worry, I'll help you source. I would not about don't worry, definitely they will source from their end, but I'll try to also okay, share with me. Let me look. So I'm just giving you instances. Always have the mindset that the truth is that now nobody will call me for that kind of job without paying me. And that is what's paying me now, being a child job, So what I'm saying is you have to intentionally, at the beginning, you may not start making money off it. That's just the truth. But what you need to do is position your mind in such a way that even if you have a laptop at home now, if you have, like maybe you've not gotten a job, just finished NYC and all that, you have a laptop, you have something that you work, even if it's a phone, trust me, you can even go online, search for all these kind of internship roles, recruitment roles, and all of that. Or what I mean, not recruitment, like other roles, like things that you are interested in, project management role, tech role, anything that you're looking finance, just if you are what's it called, just start DM, even if it's on LinkedIn, DM people. I want to send them short messages. I like your trajectory. I would like for you to mentor me, blah blah blah, something like that. And the truth is, that is even where mentorship comes in. Everyone needs a mentor because the truth is, your mentor does not necessarily have to be someone you know or you're seeing physically. Yeah, you need someone too that can guide you as a mentor. But I have so many mentors that, to be honest, I've not seen them before. But I know that what's the word? I've not seen them before, but most times I'll go to their trajectory, like maybe on LinkedIn, or sometimes I see what they've done. I follow them on social media pages, their social media pages. I see what they've done. I'm like, I'd like to get to this height. So I'd like to even transcend, things like that. So I see what they do, and so as much as the truth is, you cannot not have a mentor or have people you're looking at to. Sorry for my not language, but just for emphasis sake, really. Then next is ask thoughtful questions. Example, what does success look like in this role? I think that's what Sunday was asking. What opportunity? So again, for Sunday, this question was asked by the interviewer. But for you, so we're talking about, so this question, this number 7, is speaking to you asking, because again, after the interview, sometimes they will ask you, do you have a question for us? Some people will say no. I don't know. Well, it's not a must. It's better not to ask questions that are not maybe that give you off. I know that sometimes they'll tell you that no question is stupid. Just ask it like that. Do you understand? But in interviews, trust me, you want to be careful sometimes as well, so you don't shoot yourself in the leg. You know. So, but what I would say here is, if they ask you, you can also note this down. These questions here. What does success look like in this role? These are questions you can ask. You know, again, you might want to still structure it from your own end to that. What does success look like in this role in the next 6 months? What does success look? But for the next 6 months, it's companies that will be asking that kind of question. But for you, it will be just success on the role, or in the next whatever 1 year, or you may not time frame yours really, but in the role proper, what does success look like? And most times, the person that will answer this question will be your line manager, or the person, the proposed line, the person that you're supposed to be reporting to, or something. Or it depends on the way the interview panel is structured. But again, you want to ask questions like this. So do you know what it's not just about asking the question. Do you know what the vibe it gives? It gives, oh, this person has the problem solving orientation. This person is solution driven. This person wants to contribute. It gives the question. So the thing is not in the question you ask, is in the impact the question you ask makes on, or the impression it gives during the course of the interview. So you want to ask questions like this: what does success look like in this role? And definitely you wouldn't be shut down. The question will be answered. Then next is, what opportunities are available for learning and growth? So sometimes I remember even companies I've worked with, again, as an interviewer, most times this particular question will not be answered by the second question, either the HR or your, depending on, I mean, sometimes HR might not be in the interview. Maybe HR might have called you before then, and maybe you're just speaking to the line manager alone. In this particular question, most times it's HR that answers, or the line manager too can answer. So, what opportunities are available for learning and growth? I like to demarcate it into two: learning, growth, because number one, for the learning aspect, you can hear responses like, you need to understand the question you're asking. It's not just by asking the question, because the question you ask now can lead to another question. If you don't answer it, also you don't want to give up or come off as if you do not know what you're doing. So for learning, learning could be anything. Do they give, for some companies, they give like some stipends for learning. Some will give you a certain amount of, some might give you in dollars, some might give you in naira, some might give you, it depends on, they'll tell you, okay, this is the amount where they even if they don't tell you, oh, this is how much we give for this and that, they may not tell you that, they may not disclose those private information. But most times you hear things like, oh, we give a certain stipend, or we give a certain amount to cushion the effect of the trainings you want to do in a certain year, things like that. Or you can hear things like, we take XYZ amount of training every quarter, we ensure people, things like that. So they can tell you different things in terms of learning, and that would also encourage you, so that you know that as you're coming in, you'll also be prepared to learn and grow. For growth, again, on the other hand, growth can be growth in your career. Like, okay, let's say you're a copywriter. Are you moving from, or what is your career trajectory like? Are you moving from being a copywriter to a senior copywriter? Are you moving from being, or how would the movement be from being a banking officer to maybe a senior banking officer, depending on the industry, basically. So they can have this conversation. You, what's the word? You can ask questions around this, so that they will understand what, typically, maybe me as an HR person, maybe I'm looking to join a company, the questions I'll ask will be totally different. So the questions are not, these questions, they are limitless. That's just it. But these are maybe on this level, these are questions that you can ask, even if you're transitioning, even if you're new or like you're a fresh graduate and all of that. If you take, for instance, as an HR person, I might be asking something like, oh, what's the staff strength? Or if it's a multinational or something that I already know that I may not even want to ask that question. And I'll be asking things like, what's this team structure like? How am I, you understand? So that I understand the angle I'm coming in from. So on different levels, there are different questions to ask. So they are not limited to these two questions. Then next is follow up. Send a thank you email after the interview if possible. You see, there's a caveat there. If possible, you're not mandated to really. But again, there's something it gives. I wouldn't lie. It gives this, what's the word? It gives this warm feeling. This is not to say that they will leave the candidates that maybe the candidate that performed really well for you because you sent an email. No. Sometimes that email might even mean that you might get called. Let's say I've seen cases where I interviewed someone for a certain role. I knew that the person, well, I think for a copywriting role or so, I knew the person was not up to par for that role. You know that the person was just not a senior copywriter, just a normal copywriter and all that. I knew the person was not up to par. And I knew from the interview call that the person was trying to pivot or something. The person was doing maybe typical, I don't even know. What happened was that because of that follow-up, you know, because of that, what happened was that when there was another opportunity, I knew that that person could fit in for that role. I DM'd her, I'm like, are you up for this? And she was very excited because she really wanted to come into the company at the time. She was very excited. I'm very sure that by now she would have grown past, maybe she's on copywriter level now, because I mean, she can only intern for 6 months or thereabout. She must have gone. So the truth is, you might be reconsidered. You don't know how, because the truth is, candidates to even nobody even wants to go through the stress of starting the interview process again or even sourcing candidates and all that when there are candidates on the side. So you want to do that follow-up like that. Oh, thank you. But again, don't come from a stalking standpoint because there's a way you now be so much in the person's DM. The person's like, who is this person? If the person comes in and appreciate won't the person bring this kind of stalking energy this way. So you do not want to set yourself up for that kind of judgment. Then interviews don't. Interviews don't. Number one, don't arrive late or discuss it, virtual or in person. Being late can create a negative impression and it would overemphasize that. Next is don't come unprepared. Avoid attending an interview without researching the company or role. Read the job description. Put the job description. In short, when you are done reading the job description, use Claudia, use ChatGPT, use any this thing you want to use. So let me give you people one hack. You see that job description they put there. They need somebody that will do that. That's why they put it there. That's just what you need to do is if you are thinking of questions that may come up from the interview, because the questions that will come up from the interview will still be questions around those things they want you to do from the job description and more. It wouldn't cost you anything to just take that job description, put it inside ChatGPT, tell the job description. I'm giving people a hack now. Ask ChatGPT, what are the proposed questions that can come out from this job description based on this job role? You get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. So you will see questions will come up, and those questions read up, like try to really understand the question and the answer. Trust me, most times, 90% of the time, it does not feel. It does not. That's one hack. Next, don't speak negatively of the interview. You see this one? Even let's say maybe you're a fresh graduate and those are I said again, I like to share it, like this is a lot of it. I've interviewed someone, just sorry. I've interviewed someone and he goes, sorry. He goes, so in the team, we're like, okay, why are you looking to move? You've not stayed. I know so again, for people that are trying to I know some people on this call might even have jobs that they're doing, but they are looking to get something better. That's why they are here. Yes, I I mean, I think we should have people like that as well in school. No matter what, don't badmouth your person. The the truth is the grass is not always, I mean, there's always something that they do to you in this space. It's not for you to sometimes some people maybe when they are asked why are you leaving your job so soon, say you're less than 1 year here, you can see you just say that you are looking to progress, or you're looking for career advancement, you're looking to um step into more challenging role that would teach you and you also impact as well on the, you understand, that kind of a thing. On no account should you. I've seen cases, somebody, there was a guy, we asked him, we were like, okay, why are you leaving? He said, yes, that everybody that those people that they are very lackadaisical, they are very laid back. That everybody in the team, everybody's laid back and all that. The line manager, when we finished, the line manager asked him, what does, and we're trying to, still asking, he was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, this person is late. This is not to say that you cannot say what it is. I'm like, okay, everybody. He said yes. Okay, you are the only serious, forthcoming person there. The truth is, it is what it is. We've seen cases where in some companies, truth be told, there are some places that they are laid back, which is fine, or some teams. But the truth is, it's not for you. It's not your cost to carry. It's not your burden to bear. Let it be. Do you understand? You don't necessarily have to badmouth. Just talk about you, how you're looking to seek other opportunities. Because by the time you start having, I know some people feel like that conversation makes them warm up to their interviewer. Like, oh, those people, nobody will warm up to you by badmouthing where you're coming from. That's just it. So be futuristic about the conversation in this regard. Do not speak negatively on any account or in any regard, basically. Next is don't memorize answers word for word. Sound natural, not robotic. I've seen again where some people, there's AI now. People, by the time the interviewer is asking questions, the thing will be tracking it. Some people will be responding to what we know all these things. And even the other way around too, everybody knows. So as much as you can, just be very natural. Because the truth is, by the time you start reading from somewhere, they will notice. I've noticed it severally. Interviewers will notice. And by the time they notice and they call you, is you've already put bias on yourself because it will seem like you are a dobber. To be given by, how they look at people that used to carry what's the name of that thing? Microchips, or I don't, they used to call it some weird names. ESCO during exams, all those things. That's the way they'll be looking at you. They'll feel like you are not a straightforward person. Integrity, and if it's companies, especially financial firms and all of that, that they pride themselves in integrity and all of that, you may not get the job. And again, this is not, even if you're going to do anything, use any AI or stuff, try to do it before the interview time. Even if you're going to use it during the interview time, be smart about it. Don't be reading word for word. Do you understand? I don't even advise using it, because the truth is, there's no point. Prepare before the interview. Try as much as possible to prepare. Don't sound robotic. Don't read, because the truth is, by the time they tell you, stop being natural and all that, it will put you off, and you've made them judge you before. You might even have something upstairs, obviously, but you've already set yourself up for judgment. Really, you don't want to do that. Then next is, don't interrupt the interviewer. Listen carefully before responding. I've seen some people, they enter interview, you're arguing with interviewer. I know sometimes you may answer the question, the interviewer says, no, you didn't say this, and you are trying to. This is not to say that you won't say, okay, this is what I meant, this is what I'm trying to, or I mentioned it here. Do you understand? But some people will now come and be arguing. What are you arguing for? If they say, okay, you're like, okay. However, I think very politely, do you understand, when they're done speaking, you can be polite about it and all that. Try as much as possible not to wear your emotions on your sleeves, on your face. Because sometimes if some people answer questions and it's not going their way, you can practically see it on their face that they are so sad. And they will start, being I don't know, nobody wants to, but again, you want to maintain a very chilled and neutral disposition. Yes, during an interview. Then don't use your phone, keep it on silent and out of sight. If you want to, it must not, that's not cast in stone, it must not be out of sight, to be honest. But again, you don't want to, don't give off anything that would make you seem incompetent, really. That's what I'm trying to say here. So it's not really a phone thing. Yeah. Next is don't say I don't know and stop there. Say instead, I haven't encountered that before, but I'm willing to learn and adapt quickly. We've had this conversation about all those CRM tools, and not just CRM tools, other tools. I mean, as a designer, you know how to use Adobe. I don't know. Some people say that Adobe, some people say that Adobe, whichever. And they now ask you, can you use Figma? I mean, they're all design tools. It's just like Figma will be. You can use Figma to collaborate more and all of that. So you might want to tell us how you can, transfer that your Adobe or Adobe skill into Figma. I do not use. I've not started using Figma yet, but my skill in using Adobe will help me, or Adobe will help me, you know, transition, blah, blah, blah. It will show like you have potential and able and you can learn. Next is, in summary, is start early, reach like we've mentioned this before. Start early, research the company, understand the role and rehearse answers. Next is present relevant examples, ask insightful questions, and maintain professional communication. Prepared candidates convey potential and leave a strong impression. In conclusion, notes. This my conclusion is one sentence. Confidence comes from preparation. The truth is, all you need in this regard is confidence. If you're confident in what you're doing, if you're confident in what's the word, um, in your preparation and what you've done, definitely, you would get a job really. And the truth is, there's one caveat I want to put out is the fact that you interviewed for a certain job and you did not get it does not mean that you should not prepare for the next. And the fact that you prepared for the next and you did not get it does not mean that, I mean, it's very, so many great people. Do you know how many names they've gotten? I know people that when they immediately they feel one interview, they will feel very dejected. They'll feel like they can't even keep going and all that. Again, another thing our advice is, as for someone looking for a job, go on LinkedIn, go on Hot Nigerian Jobs, go on all these job sites and all that. Go and look, be applying for roles, apply, let them call you. There was a year I was looking to transition, like not transition, like change jobs. You know what? Because on that level, I was looking to change jobs on. It was not a normal level of like now I had a team, an HR team in a fintech and investment company. When I was looking to transition into head roles and all that, I knew that it will not now be about me coming to talk in the interview. It will be about me coming to present what I'm going to do, slides. That particular year, do you know what I did? For you now, it may not be applicable. It depends on the level of interviews you're doing. Do you know what I did that year? I was just doing interviews. They will give me what's it called, interview test questions. I'll do it. I'll come on that day, especially the ones that are virtual. I will do it. Do you know what I was doing? I was preparing myself for where I was going. So most of them they will call you back. Some of them they will even tell you a budget or a salary that does not work for you. Be like, oh no, no, and I don't think I'm moving forward with it and all of that. Some will not even get back to you. Everybody gets a no. Some will not get back to you. So the point is, if you are a fresh graduate now, do not just sit back and fold your arms. Do not just sit back and be watching. What I would advise you do now is go on. In short, as a matter of fact, I think I scheduled it every Sunday. I apply for like 10 that week because I had what I was doing. So I'll apply for 10 and all that. Maybe during the week, I'll get like maybe 3 or 4 invitations, or even 5, sometimes 6 and all that. At the end of the day, the 6, some of them, they won't even call again. At some point, some will even call and before they'll say they decided to put the role on a hold and some and stuff. So the truth is, just be casting your nets, like cast your nets. You will definitely get a job. Do not sit back. If you're looking to, if you're a finance person or you're an auditor or something, you're looking to go into the big four, you can start by applying even to normal banks, microfinance banks, and all that. Sometimes you may not cross in fully. You know, they'll tell you that even if you're going to a certain place, everybody must not pass the same route. Some people, their road might be straight, yours might, but at the end of the day, everybody will meet each other at the end point. Thank you, everyone.
Right. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Please let's give our speaker a round of applause. Thank you so much. If you learned something today, please, I need you to give our speaker a round of applause. Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Ifeoma. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. That was an incredibly insightful session. Thank you so much for gracing us with your time. Um, Normally we often focus on just getting interviews, but today's session particularly reminded me that preparation is what turns those interviews into offers. You can't just sit and think that you're going to get the interview because you think you're good at your game, right? You have to prepare and know what to do and what not to do. Thank you so much, Ifeoma, for that. I've learned quite a lot. I'm sure we all have. Please, if you have any questions, this is the time for you to indicate. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the comment section or you can just raise your hand and speak. If you have any question, you're talking to a big HR professional here, a senior HR professional. So here's the time for you to ask your questions. Here's the time. So any question at all, you can just drop it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Please, you can have the floor and ask a question.
Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. That was quite thorough. My question is, for someone who has a particular skill or a set of skills and has been trying to apply on different platforms without getting not even a call for interview within 6 months, what might the person be doing wrong? You know, he has a LinkedIn profile, he's trying to apply on also other online platforms and not getting not one call for interview. What might the person be doing wrong? Or then what can be the place for improvements? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. What's his name? Okay, Manu, I think. Yeah, that was, I mean, you, what are the words to use now? I'm not a, will I say, it's giving, let's say you come to a doctor and you're saying, I'm having fever, I'm having this, and the doctor is like, oh, maybe it's malaria. So in this context, I feel like it's your CV. I might be wrong, but I think it's your CV. Because the truth is, whether you like it or not, the first you that the employer sees or that a company sees is your CV. They don't know that, nobody will know that Ifoma can do XYZ. Nobody will know that Dami can do XYZ. Or Emmanuel can do XYZ. It's the only thing they can use to know that you can do X, even Y, even before this Z is what you tell them in your CV. So I strongly believe that you need to work on your CV. So are you a fresh graduate or you've had something doing so that I even understand the context?
I have something doing.
Okay, you're currently working. Okay. So it means that, so it depends on, the truth is I don't have the full picture, but I feel like it's your CV. I have a strong feeling that it's your CV when clearly your phone number is there, your email is there, and you're applying for jobs that are suitable to or jobs that are in your field and you're not getting DMs, I feel like you should check your CV. Maybe something is wrong. Something is wrong. Maybe after the call, maybe I can. Most times I don't like to promise because I don't have the time. Then I'll just do this for you for coming out plain. So maybe what will happen is after now, maybe you share your CV with them and you let me know the role, or I would even know the role from the CV that you're applying for. I'll check, I'll review and see what's wrong. Because that's like a problem. You said 6 months, that's a long time. It means that did they mean you? They did not mean you know. Not that deep. At least you should get a call. Let it even remain that. I think something is wrong. In the this our current time of maybe even AI or not even using AI or stuff. Sometimes we just put things in our CV that are not even doctored to. Again, another issue is that I think I didn't mention that during the course of the call. Let's not be doing one size fits all CV. So a certain job you're applying for, you can clearly see the job description. That's the essence of the truth is I used to tell people use AI, but don't let AI use. AI using you is when you just go there, download verbatim, like lacram lapop, the way they used to say it that time, just pack it, put it. Once you get okay, this is the JD, this is you go use it, put the JD, use the CV that you have, tell AI to structure it for you. Then you go in, readjust, then you post. That's if it's a job that is very important. Do you understand? But again, you can also have the generic CV that you can be using to apply normal. Do you get? Because I mean, you can't do different CVs for 1001 jobs. You get me? So I think something is wrong with your CV.
Thank you so much, ma. I really appreciate the
Yeah.
support.
All right,
Problem.
thank you. I would, Mr. Emmanuel, please share your CV with me. You see, wonderful opportunity. Thank you, Ifema, for that. Does anyone have any other question? Can see if I get opportunities. It can be your turn. Any other question? Okay.
Okay,
I guess we
I see. I didn't answer his question. Is John Sunday. I promised to answer his question.
okay.
He was like, what does success look like in the role after 6 months? Yeah, so like I said, this question most times is wait, how was what do I say? I heard the interviewer ask the confusing question mark. What does success look like in this role after 6 months? So again, this question, the way it's doctored here, looks like um what you as the candidate will ask the interviewer. But let me now tell you how the interviewer can throw this question back at you, or not back at you, like to you. Is the same thing, but it will come from what would like you maybe asking you to highlight your proposed achievement, or what would you achieve in the next 6 months, given that you already know the KPI, the JD, what is expected of you. The question will now look like you as a person now on this role. What would be your achievement in 6 months? So take for instance, you're a salesperson. You could say, "Oh, I'm looking for the best illustration to you." You could say, "Oh, in the next 6 months, if I'm expected," because sometimes for sales roles, they will already tell you um they will already tell you your target, what you need to achieve and all that. So you get hear questions like, or even me as an HR person, you hear questions like, what could be your achievement in the next 6 months or something. Sorry, one second. Sorry, I had to attend to something in the background. So, so the question is, so, as I was saying, yeah, as I was saying, so you may want to, sorry, someone came in, I was trying to, so the question here is, well, the response here should mostly be tied to your achievement, what you achieve in the next 6 months. You're a social media manager, you are this, you are that. What will you achieve in the next 6 months? Whatever role you are applying for, what would you have achieved? Oh, I would have, don't go and start making it look like you did want to take the company. Like, don't make it look so not real. You should have conversations around, okay, since, let's say, maybe because some of them might even go as far as telling you, oh, have you seen our social media handle? What are we doing that we're not doing well? You know, all those kind of conversations. You can say, oh, okay, or maybe as a writer, you've gone to our website. What are things there that I think they are not supposed to be the way they are, or something, or a developer or whatever. As a developer, so you've gone to our site. What do you think differently? Oh, you can say, oh, okay, I think I will be able to optimize the website to a certain level to be sure that traffic will generate traffic. You know, those kinds of conversations, you know, basically you're an SEO person, just something they need to hold on to something. Is given by the question can also translate to your elevator speech of why should we hire you. Do you understand? Why should we hire you? That's in short. In summary, this question is why should we hire you? And what are you going to, what would you have done in it? So why should we hire you from the angle of what would you have done for us in the next 6 months? So I think that answers the question. John Sunday.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Ifeoma. Last question quickly. Before you joined the class, Jessica dropped a comment on the chat box, basically saying one interesting interview question that she has been asked before, right? And the question was, what are the key things? The question she was asked, right? What are the key things you should memorize about the organization slash company that's interviewing you? Right? Is that a normal question to be asked? And if an interviewer asks that question, what should you say? So I will come again. What are the key things you should memorize about the company that's interviewing you?
So the question, I need to understand the question. Is it like Jessica said, they asked her that question, things she should memorize, or she's asking us on this call, or asking me, what are the things she should memorize? Because the question can come in this.
That's true. Jessica, please can you confirm? Were you asked this
I was
question in an
I
interview?
was asked the question.
So
Oh,
you were
okay.
I was the
asked
one
what
being asked.
okay, the things you
Yes.
should memorize. So memorize can also mean no. Do you understand? Things you should, you know, sometimes when people say memorize, it feels like cramming from our, you know, all of us that went to uni now and secondary school and primary school. We already used to, I mentioned that la cram la pour kind of thing. The truth is, yeah, memorize, no, put in your head. It's the same thing. So, like I said from the beginning, their product, what they do, basically. If if you can't go as far as learning vision mission, because the truth is, yeah, you can put that one in your head. The truth, I don't think only if maybe it's the writing test. I don't think anybody will disqualify if you don't know vision mission. But again, know the vision, basically, you know. But know what the services they render, because that's even what is more important to them. The services they render, if they are Pan-African, if they're international, where they are situated, basically all of the things about them. Like I keep telling everyone, you cannot know the company more than those that are in the company. That's just the truth. They just want to know that you have an understanding of what they do, basically.
All right. All right. Thank you for that, Fiona. Wow, as we wrap up today's session, I'd like to sincerely thank our speaker, Ifeoma. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge and your experience with us. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your insights, your examples, and your stories. I really enjoyed them. Thank you so much. And I also like to thank every member of the community for joining this evening. Thank you for your time and your commitment to learning and personal development. God bless you. Thank you so much. I would like us to once again give a round of applause to our speaker. Thank you so much for being here, Fiona. Thank you so much. And before we leave, right, I would just like to quickly remind us that we should continue engaging in the community. I'm sure you probably saw my post. We are starting afresh or starting something new in Community X, right? It's been 6 months and we just decided to rebrand. So just watch out for upcoming opportunities and learning sessions. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you and have a lovely, lovely evening. Bye,
Yeah.
guys. Bye. Bye, Shama. See you guys next time.